before we start the workshop, if you really want to understand the detailed philosophy and the pricing of Zyte's API scraping tool, which we'll talk about and use in this session, I would highly recommend you watch the webinar that our Chief Product Officer hosted last week on how Zyte's AI scraping tool empowers developers to scrape data 3x faster, 3 times faster, I mean. And the link to that webinar is in the chat. And Ian has this charm of making you fall in love with tech and the product, so make sure you watch it. But I'll give you a brief summary of this innovative and effective AI-powered template system, which is like basically Zyte's AI scraping tool in the session as well. So make sure you sign up for Zyte API and have the Zyte API key handy if you're doing a hands-on session with me. Otherwise, like, yeah, you can still sign up and try it out. Yeah, so the agenda of today's workshop looks something like this. We'll straight away get into setting up product data extraction project from 30 e-commerce website using Zyte's AI tech stack, which is Zyte's AI scraping tool. And approximately, so this workshop will be divided into 4 parts, and we'll spend approximately 15 minutes on each of these 4 parts. So before we get into actually setting it up, I want to give you 1 minute to reflect on this question. So how will you go about setting up 30 e-commerce spiders with your current tech stack? And does anyone want to share? And while you are typing, while everyone is sharing in the chat, Audrey, do you want to share your experience of setting up 30 e-commerce spiders with traditional tech stack and what that tech stack look like?
Yeah, so in Zyte and also before I joined Zyte, my stack would be Scrapy, and in Zyte we use Zyte technologies such as Smart Proxy Manager to avoid bans and improve cron speeds, and you would need to write your spiders. And if they are for different websites which don't have anything in common, so you cannot share code between them, you would need to write 30 separate spiders and overcome problems which will happen, at least in some of them, bans and complicated layouts and so on. And it would need in best case several hours per spider, but sometimes maybe several days if there are very complicated websites. So overall, I'm not going to count, but it would be quite a lot of time. Certainly not 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yes. So I see a lot of people are responding in the chat. Some are saying that they won't even think of attempting it. And Diego said, Scrapy process, copy an old spider and rebuild it for a new website. And that's, yeah. Can you program agents to handle things that require human intervention or have more flexibility than a traditional spider? Yes, we'll see all of that here in this workshop. So just so I know today's audience better, can like you will see a couple of polls on your screen now. Can we run some polls, Kleber, that we have planned? Can you participate in the polls? So you'll see you might be seeing 5 polls on your screen. The first one is, which framework or base language do you use for web scraping projects? You can choose, or like if the option is not available, you can mention in the chat. What do you use for headless browser automations? Do you use any unblocker API or write your own custom solutions for it? Right? And fourth is, how much time does it take for you to set up 30 e-commerce spiders using your methods? And fifth one is, how much time do you spend dealing with bans, proxies approximately for the top 30 e-commerce websites you have scraped recently, right? I know there are a lot of questions, but that's the whole point of this workshop. I think you'll enjoy it. Like, let's participate and tell us tell us what framework do you use and participate in these polls. You can comment in the chat, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds to answer these. So yeah. Umair, do you want to share something out from your experience of how you would go about setting up 30 e-commerce spiders while people are participating in the poll?
Yeah, first of all, I would freak out and go cry in the bathroom because there is so much work to do. Yeah, I guess from our experience, it can take anywhere from like for the very simplest spider, even 2 hours, 4 hours to like 2, 3 days. And that's alone the writing part, not the anti-ban and all that. So 30 spiders could take anywhere from best case scenario, like 1 month to couple of months at least. So yeah, that's a lot of work to do.
Nice. Shall we end the polls, Clever?
Yeah,
Do we end the polls? Can you paste it in the chat? Like, should we? Okay, great. Can we see the results right now?
I can see. Can you?
I'm not able to see the results. Cool.
Now?
Okay.
Now we can.
Yeah, we are able to see that. So 70% of you are using Scrapy and 17% of you are using Python with beautiful request. And everyone, okay, others 9%. Please can you mention in the chat what framework or base language do you use? Headless browser. Oh, we have 48% people who are using Selenium, Puppeteer 14%, and Playwright 33%. Yeah. Okay. So we can't see the answers for these questions, the text-based questions. Anyways, let's get started. Yeah. So before I talk about what it is in theory, I want you to feel how you can set up 30 e-commerce spiders so effortlessly with bans taken care of, no more writing selectors, no more rotating proxies yourself. So let's get into setting it up. Yeah. I'll share my screen. Yeah. So yeah. So for setting up 30 e-commerce spiders today, we will use this library called Zyte Spider Templates. And it's a library which provides spiders that use AI extraction capabilities and all the features of Zyte API to crawl and parse data from any website of a supported type. For example, currently we have an e-commerce template, and I'll talk more about in detail what it is. But for now, if I have to give an example of a pre-packaged food, just consider someone gave you the ingredients and the entire recipe of the product data extraction project. You just have to run it with the URLs of your choice. And of course, you can customize the recipe as per your taste. So I'll straight away get into my terminal. Are you able to see my screen, everyone? Umair?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Desktop, yeah.
Yeah, so basically I'll clone this library, so this project, which is made from this library, Zyte Spider Templates project. Can I know in the chat how many of you are actually doing hands-on with me? So let me just quickly share the steps in the chat, if that's okay. So this blog is not published yet. I'm gonna share this blog I'll share this blog with the recording of this workshop. So basically the first step is just to clone this GitHub repository. Yeah, and as you can see on my desktop, I have this project here. I'll rename this project to maybe e-commerce or something, commerce underscore 30, right? And I'll open this project in my PyCharm, right? Yeah, so PyCharm is creating virtual environment for this project automatically for me, and it's installing all the libraries that are there in requirements.txt file. But if you're not using PyCharm, you you have to do it. You have to do these steps manually, right? Now, what we have to simply do is in scrapy.cfg file, you have to change the name of this Zyte underscore spider underscore templates underscore project to the project name that we have given, right? To any, you can name, you can keep any name, which is a valid Python module name. And I'm gonna copy this, right? And in second file is settings.py file. You have to change it in 4 places, which is like bot name. And you will get, don't worry about it, you'll get all the like details of this tutorial later in a blog. So yeah, so the second place is spider modules. The third place is new spider module. And the fourth place is Scrapy Poet Discover, right? Yeah. And what we'll do now is we'll add Zyte API key, right? I have Zyte API key with me, and I'm gonna add it. I'll change the name of this project here as well to, okay, sorry. Okay, right. That's it. We are ready. We are ready to run this. All you have to do is write Scrapy crawl e-commerce is -a for the argument. You have to pass in any URL to just test it out. So I'll use any random, if you want me to run any website live, you can give it in the chat window. Otherwise, I'm gonna take this URL and copy paste it. That's it. And I'm gonna run this spider. So yeah, that's it. Like, it's working. So while this is working, let me just test it out if it is running fine. Meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll set this project. So basically, like, it's ready to run for one website. By the way, what we have to do is now, I'm going to create a new file, domains.txt, right? And I have I have 30 domains with me. And you can see all of the domains that I'm using here, like all the famous ones, Wayfair and Adidas and all of those. I'm gonna add them here. So you can see there are 36 domains. And I'm gonna create a new file, a Python file, which is run 36 spiders.py. And I'm going to copy paste this code. So what this script is basically doing is it's reading domains.txt file as input. And what it is doing is just running this scrapy crawl e-commerce command with arguments as maximum request to each of these as 50. And URL, it is picking up from the domain. And it is giving me the output in the domain name .json file, right? So yeah, I'm gonna duplicate the side. I'll run this. Yeah, I'll 5 3. Yeah. So that's it. We'll wait for it. And as you can see, and basically like, yeah, I've implemented multi threading here. So basically like it is actually extracting, it has requested all the data at once from all the domains. So you can see, and while it is running, it's gonna run, it's gonna take some time, but yeah, that's it, basically. That's it. Like you're done setting up 30, not 30, but 36 e-commerce spiders. And if you want to, expand or scale this solution, or you want to add 100 URLs or 1,000 URLs, you can do so in domains.txt. Yeah, so as you can see, like I've already started getting the output from all the 36 domains. Let me just check. So like you can see Adidas, from Adidas, it has already started extracting the data. And the data it is extracting is like on the basis of a product schema that we have. If you want to look, take a look on that, I'm sending the link in the chat window. But yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. It didn't even take 30 minutes to set up 30 e-commerce spiders. Like you can see right in front of you, we've hardly taken like 10 minutes to set this project up. And you can use the same project for 1,000 URLs, and that's it. That's all you had to do. Now, before we move on, right? And while these spiders are running, let's talk about what the spider template system is. Yes, Diljit. So like we have a couple of questions here. Do you guys want to post your questions in Q&A? And while these spiders are running, let's talk about the spider template system. You see how easy was it to run these? And while we were preparing for this workshop, Kleber, our campaign manager, behind the scenes today, he asked me, Neha, how do you feel about the situation? How do you feel about this solution? So I'm gonna ask you all, and Kleber, you can take notes from the developers. I'm really interested, and I'm really excited to know your answers. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? How do you feel about this solution? And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to put your answers in the chat, and then we'll go ahead on talking about what this spider template system is, right? You can go ahead and post anything related to the solution, your feelings, your excitement, apprehensions. Just share it with us. So yeah, please keep the questions. Yeah, so I'll take Matthew's question. Is it only tailored to e-commerce, or is it adaptable to any website? So currently we have a template just for e-commerce websites, and it will work for any e-commerce websites. And I'm gonna talk about how you can tailor your solutions for the e-commerce websites. But it is adaptable to any e-commerce website, but not everything. So we have more ML models and more templates coming in, like articles and news data. So that is next in line. We will have templates for those websites as well. But as of now, we just have this Zyte API scraping tool as just for the e-commerce websites with you. Les, can you talk about how much it would cost to scrape these 36 URL with this method? So I can actually show you the platform. We have a calculator which can actually give you an approximate measure of the request that you're gonna make and everything. But that's currently not on the agenda, less. But I can actually give a demo. I can give you an email ID here. So I'm posting my email ID in the chat, or you can reach out to me on Discord. I'm monitoring it, and if you're interested, we can take demos, and we can meet one-on-one as well. So we can talk about it. Roland, is it possible to write your own templates? Yes. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get to that in the later part. So like let's get started. And how Rick has the same question. How easy it is to create your own template? I'm gonna quickly get into it. Like just like a bit of a theory, and then we'll get into the customization part of how you can create your own templates. So yeah, I think let's get started. So, right. Yeah, we have a lot of questions coming in. Don't worry, we'll take all of them. If you have more questions, if you have more like anything to share later, we will take them up in the Q&A section as well. But for now, I'll move ahead with what I have to share on the on what it is, right? What this spider template system is. And I want to start it with a quote from a recent movie that I watched, The Holdovers. That's relevant here, right? And if you truly want to understand the present or yourself, you must begin in the past. You see, history is not simply the study of past, it's an explanation of the present. So I'm going to start with a brief history of the evolution of web scraping tech stack at Zyte. Now you can, like, if when you plan, so basically when you plan a tech stack for your web scraping project, broadly, there are 5 puzzle pieces that require your attention and set the strong foundation of the project. So namely the base framework or a technology called like Scrapy, or you might be using Beautiful Soup or Java or anything else, right? And then you would need a browser automation tool to process JavaScript and extract dynamic elements. Like, you know, you might be using headless browser libraries like Puppeteer, Playwright, or Selenium, right? A rotating proxy solution, you might be writing your own or using Smart Proxy Manager tool, right? An advanced anti-ban solution like Smart Browser. And then you might be using a software like Scrapy Cloud to deploy your spiders to run for days or weeks, right? Or you might be using AWS. This conventional system had many limitations, right? We have done polls, we've listened to the horror stories from the developers on anti-bans. You know, even after meticulous planning and writing the entire code, both on crawling and extraction logic and integrating multiple tools all by ourselves, which is a serious time-consuming task, the uncertainty of dynamic web still prevails. Small changes in website layout or anti-ban software upgrade can have a domino effect of series of events that can break your system, and you have to rewrite the entire thing from scratch. And because you have to handcraft site-specific code, you know, scaling these solutions effectively and quickly might be a challenge. So here enters Zyte API that just works like magic from medium to strongly protected one. It just works. So it has an inbuilt automated mechanism to manage your proxies and proxy pools and handle bans. So no more configuring the spiders to avoid bans or managing the proxy pools yourself. Hence, it saves a lot of your time and money. And honestly, no more running in circles with the endless cat and mouse chase of bans. Second, with browser automation capabilities for dynamic elements that require browser rendering, you don't have to integrate any separate tools and technology for it. Zyte API has it. With AI-powered extraction capabilities, now you don't have to write XPath or CSS selectors as well. Overall, with Zyte API in equation, the system boosts your productivity tenfold over the conventional one, right? I'll have a sip of water. Yeah. Yeah. So although, so with Zyte API and equation, the system boosts your productivity by tenfold, right? By managing the proxy pool itself and ending the cat and mouse chains brings you peace of mind, reduces the complexity of managing and maintaining multiple tools, and saves a lot of time and money. And with inbuilt AI extraction capabilities and automated ban management, makes this system self-healing and resilient too, as it is independent of changes in website and anti-ban upgrades. Although the system is a lot more capable than the traditional one, it has its limitation too when it comes to scaling. So since you have to write this spider with crawling logic and manage multiple spiders yourself, it's hard to scale quickly. Now, you might be wondering, come on, how is this a limitation? Of course, you'll have to write spiders. So that's where the genie that you've been looking for, Zyte's AI tech stack, comes in, right? All the intelligence of the previous system we talked about and the wisdom of the 10 years in the industry is built in one library called Zyte Spider Templates that I just showed you. And right, and the Zyte Spider template system is very similar to wearing a Spider-Man suit to navigate the webverse. It boosts your productivity 100 and 1,000 folds, right? As I've shown you, you can add as many domains as possible in the domains.txt file. The Spider-Man suit is self-healing and resilient as well, as it is independent of the changes in the website layout and anti-ban upgrades. Plus, it's an AI solution that scales quickly, as you don't have to write spiders or configure them for bans or manage proxies yourself or write selectors or worry about site layout changes or ban upgrades, and no more using separate tools for browser actions. Just plug in the new source that you want data from, right? Like most of the black box AI solution, it doesn't replace you, but boost your productivity, supercharge your capabilities like a Spider-Man suit at a much lower cost and brings you peace of mind so you can focus on what really matters, the data and its quality. And when you need, it lets you control your aircraft how you want to. Basically, this diagram shows you how does it work. You can you can use these templates in a no-code solution in the Scrapy Cloud UI, right? Or you can start a Scrapy project like we just did, right? Or like you can just clone it and start the data extraction from the URL of your choice, and the data will be extracted as per the schema. You can, yeah, you can. I forgot to share the link of the schema. I'll share that. But if you want to create your own template, if you want to, like, let's just say if you want to add an additional data field to the data schema or change the crawling behavior, you can do all of those customization by extending these templates. And in the next section, I'm going to show you how, right? So I'm going to start, like, I'll highlight again what I mentioned in the last slide, that when you need, the system lets you control your aircraft how you want to. By playing a small clip, it might sound cringy, but I just wanted to share it. It's a clip from an all-time favorite movie called Sully, right? And the scene is when the aircraft has lost thrust in both the engines, and Sully takes the control of the aircraft to land it on the Hudson River. And Sully says, "My aircraft," and his first officer replies, "Your aircraft," right? And it's just stuck with me for some reason. And yeah, you play the clip.
My aircraft, your aircraft.
Yeah, it's a short clip, but like the point I'm trying to make is, you're still the captain of, you're still the captain of your aircraft, and you consider. So Zyte Spider templates and Zyte's AI scraping tool is your first officer, right? Yeah, maybe you need to watch a movie, but you get the point, right? You are still the captain, and Zyte Spider templates is your first officer. It's supporting you, right? You can still customize and control however you want to. Now, sorry.
My aircraft, your
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So the default, so I showed you, right? Like the default template you see in the dashboard is an open source Spider template. It's maintained by Zyte team. You can download from GitHub, and you can customize it any way you like. So the thumb rule is, If you want to customize the metadata, the parameters, and the crawling logic, you can do so by subclassing these spider templates, and I'm going to show you here. And if you want to override the parsing logic for all or some websites, or if you want to add new data field, you have to go through by implementing page objects. And what these page objects are, so Umair will explain in a short while. So I think without wasting any more time, let's get into customization. Yeah. I'm going to open, so I've already created a project for it, and I'm going to share that entire project later. But for now, what we'll do is, for this tutorial, I'll explain it a bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be using AO.com. Yeah, I'm going to be using AO.com. It's an electronic appliance retail website. And what we'll do is we will basically do three things. We will change the metadata of this, and then we will add a new parameter to the crawling minimum price. So it will just extract the product which have price more than the minimum price. And then we will add a new data field called the EPC rating. Now, what EPC rating is? It's electronic performance certificate that every electronic appliance have, like just this one. This product has E rating. This one is also E rated. Usually the ratings go from F to A, right? And we will extract that. So I'm gonna go to, yeah, I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna open my custom spider. So I've already created a project for this. Now, what you have to do is, for metadata, like you just under spiders, I have created a file called ao.py. So from the Zyte spider templates, you just import the e-commerce spider class, and with that you just basically create your own custom class. Like I've created ao_custom for this particular website, ao.com, right? And the name of the spider I've given is ao_com. And here, like, that's how you can basically customize the metadata of your spider first, right? What this is doing is, this is creating a new metadata dictionary that contains all the values and the key and values from the e-commerce spider template, as well as the new keys of this particular template, which is title and the description. And like basically it's merging two dictionaries into one. Now, to add, so this is it, right? And to add new parameters, you basically import e-commerce spider params class from, which is again part of Zyte spider templates, right? I have created a custom class here, ao_params, and I have defined a new parameter called minimum price as string, right? And in the parse product, you just implement the logic of extracting only the products which have a price more than minimum price, right? And for so as I mentioned, that we will add a new data field called EPC rating. And for that, whenever you're overriding crawling logic or adding a new field or overriding a new field, you have to go through by implementing page objects. Now, what page objects are? Umair will give you a brief intro on the page objects for web data extraction. He recently gave this talk in PyCon Pakistan. So over to you, Umair.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Neha. So page objects, so think about them. So they're basically, first of all, nothing but a object-oriented class basically which provides you an interface or sort of like an API to a web page without you having to deal with all the crazy low-level HTML handling that you do. So let me illustrate by an image. So on the screen you can see, so we have a web page, and obviously it's made out of raw HTML. So your page object kind of sits between your raw HTML and your application. Our application in case is our spider. So it's like giving you a nice API to get data from the web page without, you don't have to write any HTML selectors or all that CSS XPath selectors. It will just handle all that implementation, hide away that implementation from you, and you can use the page object for that. This is just an introduction, but I will be diving deep into this topic in our next talk, which is, I believe, on 3rd April. So we'll dive into all the background, all the implementation details, how you can write your own page objects and how you can use them with Scrapy. So do join that talk as well, and I'll be excited to share this with you. Over to you,
Yeah.
Neha.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. Is it possible to share the link of your webinar? Yeah, I'm sharing that. So here's the event. Like, if anyone is interested in knowing more about what page objects are and how they are used in web data extraction projects for reusability, you can join this workshop, which is happening on 3rd of April, right? And with that, I'll move on with adding a new field, right? So I'll get back to it. So in the code, you have to create a file called items.py where we are extending again. So Zyte's common item libraries, it provides a set of predefined fields that can be scraped from a product page, right? And so yeah, like here basically I'm defining a custom new data field called EBC by extending the product class from the Zyte common items, and I've created a custom product class here. So, and then under pages, what you have to do is here. So all of these things are part of WebPoet library, handle URLs, fields, right? And what we are doing here is we are writing a code. We are basically telling the spider templates that whenever the AO.com website or the domain comes, this is how you have to change the, this is how you have to create a new field, basically, which is EPC. Right? And what I'm doing here is, since I showed you the EPC rating is in the product name, so I'm basically using so basically the auto product page has the response, and what this custom class AO.com page returns is a custom product, which is basically the product schema from the e-commerce class as it is, plus this EPC rating, right? And yeah, that's it. In under pages, you define a page object for the EPC, and in spiders you don't have to do anything else. But with the product, here, like, we were writing product initially, but what you have to here return is the custom product, which is the e-commerce spiders, the actual e-commerce spiders output plus the EPC. Now, all you have to do is, and how you have to run it, basically Scrapy, crawl, not URL, and we will also give a new parameter called minimum price. We'll give 250, I'll give, and I'll output in output dot JSON, and the URL so by default it takes the navigation strategy, the crawl strategy, as the navigation one, so it automatically crawls the product category and the pagination itself. So I'll just take the URL of this. And I'm gonna paste it here. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's how easy it is to customize your templates as well. And so whenever you customize your templates, you can also customize your UI also, which is not the part of this workshop, as it was just a 1 hour workshop. So we thought we can have a detailed workshop on just the customization of these spiders. And can we run a quick poll on it yet while it is running? I'll show you the output. Clever, can we run a quick poll on it? Yeah. So if you are interested, like we don't want to overload you with like a lot of events. We know like we have events for you in Extract Data community almost bi-weekly and weekly. So just wanted to ask you if you want a dedicated session to customizing your spider templates. If you want to know, please participate in the poll and let us know. On the basis of that, we will host a dedicated session just on the customization part of these templates, and we'll talk about we'll talk about in detail on how you can customize these. But basically, these are the two thumb rules to get started on customizing your templates, and you can actually instantly get started on it. So yeah, I think just and while it is running, we are adding more. I just want to let you know that we are creating more templates. We are next upcoming is the articles and the news one. And we are also keen on how you use these templates. So we are running a beta program and interviewing developers as we speak. So if you want to be the part of the beta program, or if you want to do interviews with us, if you want to share how you're using, so I'll be hosting interviews. I'll be doing one-on-one demos with the Extract Data community. So please do reach out on my email ID or Discord. Yeah, here's my email ID again, and you can reach out to Discord. Can we have a link to the Discord as well? So yeah. So you can see we have received 4 products here. I'll show you in EPC, right? So we have a separate field, EPC here. Yeah. Another EPC rating is F. I'll share both the codes with you in coming days, along with the blog and the detailed theory, everything we talked about, along with the recording of this in the Discord. So stay tuned. And yeah, I'll take up questions now. We can take up questions. Okay. It's all okay. Open. I wish you had a very clear tutorial on how to scrape with Zyte using Python. I have looked and I can't believe you don't have a good one or documentation. I don't agree with you, Les. I think we have it. Maybe yeah, someone answered your question. So thank you, Andre and Omer. You've answered almost all the questions. And okay, so there are a couple of questions in the chat. Let me read those. Do we use similar structured websites in the template, or different structured with similar data points work too? Yeah, so basically, the extended template, it's gonna work similar to the main e-commerce template for any other website, but just for AO.com, it's gonna extract products with an additional data field, which is EPC, and with product price greater than the minimum price. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you the minimum price here of the products that we are getting. Yeah. Where is it? Okay, so sorry, I'm looking for minimum price. Yeah. So you see the price is 438, and then it's 379, 289. All of them are above 250. So yeah, if you have any other questions, I meant the original template. So say of 35 have different structure and pagination. Yeah, this template will take care of it all. You don't have to worry about the structure layout because it has AI powered extraction. So you don't have to, and AI crawling strategy. So you don't have to worry about the website layout structure at all. So what is the cost of this API in production? It's very subjective. And I suggest you sign up for Zyte API, and we have a calculator there. You can have an estimate of your project as well. Yeah, I would say it's very subjective. You have to try it out. And if you want to know the detailed structure of the costing and everything, I recommend, so Kleber will be sharing the webinar that Ian, our Chief Product Officer, hosted. He talked more in detail about the pricing of the solution. So, you might want to check that out. So we will share the recording of both this workshop and the webinar in upcoming days. So stay tuned, and we'll be sharing that on Discord as well, along with the blogs. So, what is the overall process of creating a brand new template? How much did it take to create this e-commerce template? Do you have any numbers on how effective it is in scraping sites, that it scrapes the right data? So, so exactly, right? Like, so I think you don't have to worry about the quality of the data here. But of course, since it's AI data extraction, so sometimes there might be certain glitches on certain websites, but that are also fixable. We have like support, like you can easily open a support ticket and get it resolved. And the overall process of creating a brand new template, I would say, like it depends. Like for this small project, it took me like approximately half an hour, like less than half an hour. Like it depends. It clearly depends on your needs, on how many page objects you want to create. But once it's just about, I think, like the initial learning. If you're new to the page objects, then it would require initial understanding of what page objects are and how you can create them. But I think like the documentation is super good. I actually, like, I studied myself, and it just took me like a day to get hang of it, and I was able to create it in like 30 minutes. I mean, the documentation is super great, and if you want, we'll be creating a lot more tutorials. And if you have any suggestions on the tutorials you would like to see on this project, we are happy to take your feedback and take your suggestions on it. I'll be like super happy to be creating those tutorials for you, because that's like the part of my job. So yeah, in regards to creating a brand new template, I meant how did you train and build? Oh, you don't have to do that at all. Like, it's just that, like, you can create a brand new template by extending the e-commerce template, basically. But it's basically like subclassing the, if you understand the concept of inheritance, oops concept in coding, you just have to, like, there's a library and there's an e-commerce spider class. You just have to extend that, and the AI model, the AI scraping part of it, these are part of the AI capabilities are part of Zyte API itself. So the automated proxy management, browser action, and advanced anti-ban management, and the AI extraction capabilities, they are all like part of Zyte API. So these templates are meant to work with Zyte API. So Zyte API capabilities take care of like the AI part of it. So you don't have to worry about it. My concern is that the e-commerce template may not work well with the sites that I want to scrape. So I may want to build my own AI model template. I was just wondering what my options are. I doubt that it will not work because this model is been trained from last 5 years, and we have tested it out quite heavily. So I am looking forward to surprise you here. But yeah, let us know. Let us know if it doesn't work. But I highly doubt it that it won't. How many records were scraped when you ran the scribe? Yeah, I can show you. So yeah, so I'll show you the other one. Okay. I think I did. Okay. I'll open that project. I shouldn't have deleted those. I think I have those. I have output as well. Yeah, I have the outputs. Yeah. Yeah, so in the 36 one, so here's the output. For example, with Adidas, I think we had max request as 50. So from 50 request, I've been able to scrape 38 products. Yeah. Cars, 33. Yeah, approximately. So yeah. And did I leave anything else? Any other questions?
Well, that's all. That's all right. Yeah, all answered already.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you have any other questions, I just want to highlight we are there on Discord. We almost have 1,000 web scraping enthusiasts there. We would like to have more conversations around it. I know it's a fairly new concept, so you might like have a lot to ask or share. You might have a lot of doubts. Please do so on Discord. We are actively monitoring. And yeah, if you want to participate in a one-on-one interview, or like if you need a demo or you have any tutorial suggestions, please do so. Yeah, we will be introducing news and articles one next. And yeah, try it out and let us know. You have a discount code AI scraping, so try it out and let us know. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining in, everyone. And thank you, Mayor, Adrian, and Andre for joining in and helping with the questions.